Good morning and welcome to Mission Control Houston. We have with us here today the principal investigator for a new experiment that's going up on the Soyuz at the end of the month. It's going to be helping the astronauts improve the exercise that they do in space to stay healthy, and I think it's called ForceShoe. So we've got Andrea Hanson, who is, again, the principal investigator and member of the Exercise Physiology and Countermeasures Lab here at Johnson Space Center. Thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, Brandi. Thanks for having me today.
So you've got a shoe with you. What exactly is this?
I do. This is the ForceShoe, and this is a commercial off-the-shelf product a company called XSENS makes, and it's a tool to help measure underfoot forces. It looks like a goofy sandal, but it's actually a high-fidelity research tool. And what it has included here are load cells underneath both the heel and the toe of the shoe that help us measure forces in 3 different directions, and also torque. That's the twisting motion. You can kind of think of it as a high-tech bathroom scale.
Okay. Well, why would we need this on the space station?
We're really interested in measuring exercise loads on the ARED, the Advanced Resistive Exercise Device. We can use that data in a lot of different ways.
Why do we care about load? What is that, I guess, first of all, and why do we care about it?
Sure. If you go into the gym and decide that you want to do, say, squat exercises, you're going to put a certain amount of weights on that bar. Well, ARED works in a similar way, except you're now exercising against the resistance of vacuum cylinders. When you dial in a load on ARED, it's not an exact science. So when you dial in 100, you might be lifting at 110 or maybe 90, give or take that 10 pounds on any given day, depending on the performance of the system. Right now, we don't have insight to the exercise load, so it's important that we can measure that using tools like the ForceShoe so we can better understand what we're asking the crew to exercise.
And is that something I guess you'll want to keep track on as they do their exercise?
Absolutely. We'd like to collect this load data every day during every exercise session. But right now, we're not getting any data from ARED. So we're looking at these portable load monitoring tools to help us collect that data.
I know the astronauts do quite a bit of exercise to stay healthy, and it seems like it's been working pretty good. We've kind of got it down. So how will these measurements help us with that?
Absolutely. Since the ARED and the new treadmill were installed in late 2009 and early 2010, the crew have been coming back a lot stronger. But we know we have work to do. They're coming back with stronger muscles and even some increased quality in bone. But we're still worried about the strength of their bone and the quality of the inside of their bone and how that strength is going to be compromised when they come back to Earth. So we know we have work to do.
Okay. Have you tried these on yourself?
Yes, I have tried the shoes on. They are really a pretty comfortable sandal. They're a little stiff, so we don't run in these shoes and we don't do a lot of jumping. But to stand and take a static load measure, they measure very accurately.
Seeing another picture of them here on the screen, and a good view of the force measurement or load measurement devices on the bottom there. How many crew members are going to be wearing these?
We have 2 crew members going up, launching on May 28th, who are going to participate in the ForceShoe evaluation, and that's Reed Wiseman and Alex Gerst. Both of those crew members will be helping us evaluate the shoe and understanding how accurate we can get the measures during ARED exercise.
And what gets the data to the ground? Do you bring the shoes back, or is it transmitted, or?
The data is going to be collected real time on a space station computer during the evaluation. So the test itself is pretty simple. We're going to have the crew dial in a number of loads on ARED, anywhere, say, from 0 to 100, 200, and higher, at 25-pound increments. We're going to look at that data and the repeated measures that we ask the crew to take to look for repeatability in the load data and those measures between the crew members and also in their individual sessions. That'll help us determine if these ForceShoes are performing and behaving as we'd expect while in use with ARED.
What would I guess decide if they're performing well?
So what we're going to be looking at is to make sure that when we take a static load measure, say at a 50-pound load, that when we take it 3 or 4 times in a row, it gives us that same number.
So it's whether they match what you're expecting from the exercise machine, or?
Yeah, we're not really interested in, say, calibrating the exercise machine at this point in time. We just want to make sure we dial in the same load every time to look to see if that load measure is repeatable. Once we decide that this tool is working appropriately and as expected in space, then we can go back and kind of do some of that fine-tuning. But right now, we're just making sure the tool works.
So Gerst and Wiseman are basically, just checking it out, and then future astronauts will be using it in a different way
Absolutely.
if it works.
Yes. What our hope is that one, the shoes work well and do give us that accurate data, and then we can apply these shoes and use them in our future research studies. We can use this kind of data to do things like evaluate human motion and perform the future ARED biomechanics study, where we look at joint motion and the forces applied at different points on the body.
So now you said these are commercial off-the-shelf products. Is it something that would be helpful to people on Earth as well, or is it just of interest to us in space?
Yeah, it sure could. Right now, we largely do biomechanics studies in laboratory settings. It usually involves a lot of big equipment, heavy equipment that's installed in long gateways. What portable load monitoring tools like the ForceShoe allow us to do is take the science to the outside, to remote areas like space station, or even out into your everyday life situations. So we can look at how people walk around and move doing their everyday activities.
Okay, well, that's really interesting. Thanks so much. And I guess we'll look forward to hearing how it works out and maybe seeing them more in use on the space station in the future.
Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Again, this was Andrea Hanson, who is the principal investigator for the ForceShoe experiment that's going up on the Soyuz at the end of the month. We'll go back now to regular mission coverage. Thanks.